What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I am here with my all tea, all shade Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 12 review. All right, you guys. So on tonight's episode, Drew calls Cynthia while wearing one of Walona from Good Times old wigs. I mean, this girl just could not get it right. Like, the budget just ain't there. Like, I don't know what is going on with Miss Ma'am, but she always looks throwback. Like, nothing is ever current with Miss Drew Sidora. So Cynthia's gonna have her sing at her wedding. All right, I guess it's better than having candy. So Marlo is planning a event at the pumpkin patch, and she's invited all the ladies. Kenya is at her home and she calls her dad, and we have not seen Daddy on screen in quite a while. Remember, her father is very cantankerous, very rude and abrasive, and sexist. So she invites her dad to Brooklyn's birthday, but he don't want to come and be around nobody he don't know. And Daddy said what he said, and you just gonna have to deal with it. Um, and at that moment, that's when I realized that, oh my God, Kenya married her damn daddy. It all made sense. Like, because we hadn't seen her daddy in so long, I forgot how her daddy was. And I was like, oh my gosh, she married her fucking father. Mark act just like him. He's dismissive. He's rude as fuck. He talked to her crazy. He's everything Kenya's father is. She has literally married her dad. So she tells him that Mark filed for divorce and asked for alimony, and that he did it as retaliation for her serving him and embarrassing him. But then he withdrew it 12 hours later. Like, girl, ain't nobody got time for this foolishness. So her daddy was like, look, when a person say they want money from you, they not playing. That's not a joke. He's dead ass. And I agree. That wasn't no joke. That man is going to try to get money out of her. Now, mind you, right now, in current time, she just said in a recent interview that they're still married. There's no divorce on the table. So I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what she's holding on to. I mean, there is no marriage. This is just toxicity at its best. Like, it's horrible. Like, I don't know what's going on with Kenya. Like, why she holding on to this nigga that ain't never there? You're basically married to yourself at this point. Like, let it go. Get on some else's shit and let it go. Let it go. So, Kenya in her confessional says, I made the bad decision uh to not invite my father to my wedding because she didn't think that they would get along, him and Mark. And she regrets it because Daddy would have told her off the jump, girl, you are marrying a younger version of me. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, nigga. Don't you motherfucking do it. I think they probably would have got along great. They would have been a chip off the whole block. Kenya says that she started therapy because she knows that she's accepted a lot of anger, dismissal from the men in her life, and that she's been proposed to a lot and wants to know, like, what was it about Mark that made her choose to marry him? And I'm like, girl, you know exactly why you chose to marry Mark, because you were of a certain age, you wanted to have a family at this point, you wanted to have a child, and you no longer wanted to be the single one on the show, and you wanted to prove to the other cast members and the world that yes, somebody will think enough of me to marry me. Let's just keep it real. So Kenya meets Drew for dinner, and Drew still look a mess. Drew got on a big wide floppy hat while it's summer, with another hot ass wig underneath where she's sweating profusely. She got this shirt that looked like she got it from Ross or somewhere unbuttoned, but the gag really was the lobster earrings that she had on. I kept on looking at the screen like, am I tripping? Like, are these gemstones in the shape of a lobster, or are those like really lobster earrings? And the more I looked and I was like, this girl wearing lobster earrings. Why? They weren't even at a seafood restaurant. I didn't get it. Like, was this something that her kid made in arts and crafts? And she was like, Mommy's going to wear this on camera. I really did not understand it, you guys. I'm just so befuddled by her fashion choices. I don't know if she made a deal with the devil. Like, I don't know what in the hell is going on with Drew, but she needs to stop it. Like, it's just getting out of control at this point. So Drew brings up how she didn't like that while they were on the trip, everybody would argue and fight, and then the next day pretend like nothing ever happened. Um, Kenya brings up Drew making it seem like she was being fake. Drew says that it started with the private plane situation when she asked her not to tell the other castmates that she had a private plane, and Kenya was like, "Well, because I wanted to tell them myself." And then Drew says the final straw was Kenya not telling her that she could bring her child on the trip and not being open about her marriage to her. Well, first of all, why would she have to be open to you about her marriage? She don't know you. The fuck? Like, huh? So let's take that off the list. The whole thing about whether or not Kenya told her to bring that she could bring her baby or whatever. Like, let's just knock down the fourth wall of it all. Kenya is just the face of the trip. You know, each year the production picks a girl that's going to plan the trip. The girls don't plan the trip. They do sit down with production and say, "Hey, I would like to go here, da 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 da," but they're not in charge of the day to day events. They're not in charge of where they stay. They don't pay for anything out of their pockets. They don't provide food. This is what production does. So for Drew to then try to make it seem like Kenya was really trying to be some type of way by not telling her to bring her baby, it's just like, girl, like, you're doing it for the camera. And that's why Kenya's not giving her any fever, because it's like, girl, like, you're really putting on for the cameras. Like, really, girl. And Kenya breaks this whole thing down in an interview that she just did recently, where she breaks down the fourth wall of it all. And it's like, Drew, have several. Like, please have several. Like, stop it. Like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And if you ladies have, ladies and gentlemen, have never paid attention, at the end of the episodes, when the girls go on any cash trip, it always says at the end, promotionally paid by, showing that Bravo pays for these trips and the flights. Like, the hotel and the places that they go, these are all promotional ads for them. You stay at my hotel, we're going to show it on our show. It's a give and take type thing. Like, these girls are not involved 100% in these trips. So, like, Drew was doing the most. Like, goodbye. Worry about them lobster earrings you had on. Did you get them from Red Lobster? Was it a part of, like, the child's pack? Like, I'm just not understanding. So Ken was like, I couldn't talk about it, like, about her marriage. So Drew was like, as a mom, it was hard for me to leave my daughter. Girl, get the fuck out of here. Was it hard for your nigga to leave y'all daughter and y'all son for 3 days? Huh? Was it hard then? Oh, okay. So Kenya was like, we're back to that, like, a girl, because they had started talking about something different. So they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Kenya then asked for the check. Drew was like, we're going to split it. And Kenya was like, I don't split a check. Drew was like, me and my friends split checks. And Kenya in her confession was like, broke bitches split checks. Me and my friends don't split checks neither. Like, it has to be some real hard times. But I mean, do as you please, girls. Do as you please. No judgments here. So me, Cynthia, and Mal are riding in the car, and Cynthia tells us about everything that's going on with the wedding. Anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. And like I said to y'all in the beginning of this season, that Cynthia should have waited. She was trying to rush. She was trying to stick to this date. She should have just had a small intimate something with her and her immediate family and him, and waited to do the big shebang later. But we all know that this is probably going to be Cynthia's last season, and that's why she was trying to make sure that she went out with a bang and with the wedding of her dreams. And it, from what I saw, the first wedding killed this wedding. You know, the bridesmaid's dress is not right. His ring don't fit. Like, the mama ain't got her dress. It's gonna be shipped. Like, it's like everything is going wrong. So she is just overwhelmed. Mal then sees on page 6 that 2 of the cast members have been exposed for screwing Bolo, but they haven't mentioned who those 2 castmates were. But some insider source has leaked the information to page 6. Now, let's not act like production doesn't leak things to the press to get people excited about the new season. So it probably wasn't even any of the girls. To be honest with you, it probably was production. So one of the producers asked Cynthia in her confessional who she thinks leaked it. And Cynthia was like, I don't know, but I know who was pressed that night, and we all know that Portia was like a cat in heat when she saw Bolo, child. I mean, we all know at this point who it was. So Candy arrives at Marlo's pumpkin patch event, and she tells her about the article. Kenya arrives, and Candy tells her about the article, and I'm like, Candy, did you do it? God damn it! Like, 'cause you just bringing it up to everybody. Um, and she also says that everybody on the internet thinks that she was one of the people that had the threesome. I knew off the bat it wasn't her. I mean, come on now. Even when before the show started, I knew it wasn't Candy. So Kenya thinks that it was an inside job with whoever told the page six. So Shamia arrives and Candy tells her. Latoya then comes next and asks Kenya, did she leak it? And Kenya was like, if it was B. Scott or TMZ, maybe. So we know right then and there, if anything get leaked to B. Scott or TMZ, 9 times out of 10, it was Kenya. So Latoya, her confession was like, I believe Kenya leaked it or whatever. And I was like, well, at least she being honest. But like, damn, like, Kenya, I mean, what's her name? Latoya. Kenya need to watch that one. She's met her match with that one. She's met a mini her with Latoya. Like Latoya is literally a mini her. So Latoya says, Tanya fled to Canada. Like Tanya is out of here at this point. Banana Face is no more. Chiquita Banana is gone. Y'all are about to ruin her make believe marriage that she got, honey. She is quit the show. She does not want to be exposed in this bullshit. She already had some explaining to do to Lucy, and she did not want to be explaining herself to the whole wide world while she was over there licking on Portia and sucking on Bolo. So bye, Banana Boat. It was nice while it lasted. So Marlo was like, she told what she did. She said she was in Portia's room until 6 o'clock in the morning eating snacks. And Candy and Shamia was like, she ain't say that. And they literally play it back where she said that. Like, I don't think that Tanya was literally meaning like, snacks. But like, oh God, it was just so funny. Because Tanya is a fucking idiot. So, so Drew arrives, child. Who Jesus, just hot as always. Just looks hot. She got on a new wig that still looked busted. She got on one of the Storm from X-Men old wigs that still just does not look right. It's just too much hair, too light. It's just too much. Then she got on this rust brown pleather ensemble that looked like some T and Tamara wore in the 90s on Sister. But then what really killed it is that the dress was, the skirt was a pleather pencil skirt. And mind you, Drew is like my height. I'm 5'3". So the pencil skirt came down like to her to her mid leg. And this girl paired it with some black flat boots. My God. Like the decisions and the choices that are being made here. Like, what? Why would you put on a black flat knee boot with a pencil skirt? A rust brown at that. Like, I just don't understand it. And I wonder, like, do the people that help her pick these ensembles, or is she doing this by herself? But if somebody's helping her, are they like hyping her up like, girl, that's the one. You about to kill him. And then what cracked me up is that everybody was like, you look so cute. I think they were just so happy to see her in a different wig, but they hyping her up and lying to her. Like, nobody is safe here with Drew. Like, why are y'all lying to this girl? She looks a mess. Always. Drew called me. You need my help. Jesus Christ. I can style you on a budget, girl. Make you like $1 million. Hit me up. So, Marlo says, Toya, did you have any sexual relations with Bolo? And she was like, no. Something happened with her that night. Like, I'm sticking to that. Toya did something she wasn't supposed to. Marlo was like, well, I want to know who had sexual relations. And Shamia was like, whoever keep bringing it up. And I'm looking at Shamia like, girl, you need to have several. Because you really going hard for Portia, the same bitch that didn't even see it for you a few seasons back. Your best friend that didn't even want to come to your wedding because she was jealous of you, that chose Phaedra over you. girl, get out of here. You's a fool. So we all called Cynthia, and Candy asked her, has she done the prenup yet? And she was like, nah, she gonna do a post-nup. And Candy looking like, girl, you see what happened with Kenya. Yeah, I don't understand that neither. Like, Cynthia dumb too. Like, that's why I got out of that fucking thruple, because this bitch is stupid. So I'm like, after everything you just went through with Peter, you still ain't learned nothing? Like, what the fuck? If you can't have that type of uncomfortable conversation with your nigga, then you don't need to be marrying him. I'm sorry. So, Marlo asked Drew, how did she and Kenya's dinner go? And Kenya was like, I think it was pretty clear that everybody thought she was coming for me, which she was. Drew was like, did you feel like I was coming for her? Like, she playing dumb, like she don't know what she did. Like, girl, get out of here with the foolishness. I don't like Drew. Really don't. Really don't like her. I'm not feeling her horrible thrift store fashions. I don't feel nothing about her. She always sweating. Her wigs is always too big for her head and just hot and just look like they musty. Like, I just don't like her. So Marlo was like, I wouldn't say come in. And I'm looking like, Marlo, like, girl, you supposed to be the one that keep it real, and you ain't even keeping it real. So Candy and Toy was like, it definitely felt that way. And I was like, finally somebody has said it. So Drew was like, I didn't think it was that deep. And Kenya was like, when I came up, she was doing vocal exercises like she was rehearsing for a scene. Looking stupid. And Drew was like, I'm singing at Cynthia's wedding and my voice is hoarse. Okay, girl. All right. You act like you were singing at the Grammys. So Kenya, Candy, and Toya leave. And Drew gonna say those exercises loosen up the tongue, which is good for other things. And she might need to do that. Or maybe she wouldn't be having the problems she having. I'm like, this the second or third time this girl done came for Kenya's marriage. Like, she over here on some Kurt Russell Goldie Hawn type shit. Like, your marriage ain't no better than Kenya's. You don't even know where your husband was for 3 days, and he still won't even tell you. And he tells you that you're stupid when you even ask questions. So where do you think that you get the gall and the gumph to sit up here and talk about somebody else's relationship, ma'am? I'm not understanding this. I'm really not. Your husband lets you walk out with outfits like you in the movie Save the Last Dance. I don't, like, nobody loves you. Nobody cares about you. They let you roam around the world thinking that you're still in 1999. When I guess that was the era when, like, your career must have taken off, because I'm just not understanding, like, the fuckery that's going on in your life, ma'am. So Portia finally arrives and she got lost. And she immediately lies and tell Drew that her wig is cute and says that her hair look cute every time she see her. And y'all trust Portia? See, when a bitch lie to you about little shit like that, oh, you know they can't keep it real with you about nothing big that's going on in your life. So they tell her about the page 6 thing, and Portia thinks that it was Kenya. Of course she does. You know, everything that goes wrong in Portia's life is Kenya's fault. So Marlo was like, y'all need to talk. And Portia was like, she keeps on poking at me, but guess what? I just don't fuck with you. Well, if that's the energy that you don't fuck with her, y'all not friends, then why do you feel like she owes you anything? I'm not understanding this. You want to act like it's girl code and you don't do this and you don't do that when it suits you, but then in the same breath you want to say you don't fuck with her and y'all not friends. Well, which one is it, Portia? Which one is it? Make it make sense, ma'am. So Marlo was like, I feel like since Kenya and I made up, it's been like, let's back off. Marlo, I haven't spoken to you since the trip. And Portia was like, well, I haven't even spoken to Shamia for real, and that's my best friend. I was like, well, you see how you treat your best friend, so that doesn't really count. So Portia, her confession was like, the timing in which Kenya decided to forgive her feels really calculated, not even knowing that Cynthia was the one that wanted them to make up and was the one that initiated. So she just talking out the side of her ass at this point. So Kenya goes to therapy and she talks about dating emotionally unavailable men. And I was like, child, been there, done that, wrote a book on it. So she says that she always goes into relationships thinking that the person will eventually open up and that it'll just take time and she just has to be patient. Once again, I have no time in my life to be sitting up here trying to mother somebody else's child and raise them. Don't have the time nor the patience. So she says that she did the same thing with her mom for years. And I'm like, that's a part of I be forgetting about her mama. And I was like, she got horrible relationship issues, you know, with her mother and her father, and that has resulted her in in dating the men in her life that she's dated. She's dated people that throw her away, just like her mother and her father do, that talk to her crazy, that don't have no respect for her. and it shows in the men that she chooses, and it's sad, but she really needs to deal with those issues before she can have a healthy relationship with anyone else, because she's going to continue this cycle until she, fixes it. So she says that all she ever wanted was her mom to acknowledge her, and she says her family sat back and watched her mom treat her cruelly, and that she wasn't protected, and she wasn't, like, because regardless of whether or not that woman says she did not want to have that child, that does not mean that you get to treat her bad. You don't get to do that to a person. So she says that the way that she was raised resulted in her fighting all the time growing up, and that by the time she was 15, she was dating somebody 11 years older than her that was physically abusive. And that's sad. That's really sad. So King was like, with Marcus always, I'm going to break you because I'm broken. Like, listen to yourself, Kenya. Like, what about this man is desirable? Nothing. Nothing. Like, it's sad because, like she said, she's so strong in other areas of her life, but when it comes to men, she is horrible. She is so just fucked up mentally, spiritually. Like, Kenya is fucked up when it comes to men. Like, because I'm like, girl, please work on this shit, because you got a daughter that's watching you. So the therapist says that she needs to grieve what she thought her future was going to be with Mark. Like, she really does. She needs to do more than that. Like, Kenya needs to do extensive work on herself, because this is really sad. It really honestly is. um but yeah, that's my review on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I give tonight's episode a B+. It was good. It was cute for what it was. Let's talk down below. I do have the comment section opened up again. Please just be respectful at this time, you guys. Thank you to anybody who did reach out to me and wish me and my family your condolences and well wishes. I greatly appreciate them all. Um Shout out to Mel from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Her mom reached out to me and gave her condolences, so thank you so much. I greatly appreciated it. It didn't go unnoticed. Nobody's comments or messages or inboxes have gone unnoticed, so I thank you guys so very much for all of that. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell button. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.